Hi, I'm Keith, the technician with USA Clean. In today's video, we're going to go over some troubleshooting steps on the TASKI Swingo 2500, including the recovery, the solution, and the drive system. First, let's get started by troubleshooting poor recovery. Now, the first thing you want to do is make sure you check your tank and make sure it is empty. So lift your seat up, flip your tank cover over, and check inside the tank and make sure it's empty. Now the second thing we can do is check the gasket. The tank lid gasket runs along here, all along the tank. Make sure that it's not worn, there's no cracks. Then what you can do while you've got your tank open, you check your float sensors. Just look them over, make sure that the balls on the ends don't have calcium deposit built up, there's no gunk built up on them at all. Now the next step you want to do is check your recovery tank drain hose. Go ahead and remove it, check the cap, make sure it's tight and it's sealed. Check the hose itself for worn parts, damages, holes, cracks, anything like that. Then, after you do that, what you want to do is check your vacuum hose. Go ahead and do the same thing. Check it all the way up the hose for worn parts, cracks, its damaged holes, anything like that. Remove it from the squeegee assembly. Now a good way to check for suction is to turn your machine on, turn the back motor on, and place your hand over the end of the hose and just make sure you've got good suction. Now the last thing we can do is check your squeegee assembly. Go ahead and loosen the knobs and remove your squeegee assembly. Turn it over. Check along the bottom here for debris or anything like that that could get caught up in the center. Check your squeegee blades, your front and the rear, for any worn parts, damages, or anything like that. Now, if your machine doesn't have any pickup at all, here are a few other things you can check. Your back motor to make sure your back motor is working, and we're also going to check your float sensors for continuity and make sure those are working properly. So what you want to do is you want to start by taking off your tank cover. Unscrew. Set that off to the side. Take off your tank cover and set it off to the side. Now the next thing we want to do is check the wires from the sensors to the connection block. Make sure that there's no damage, there's no tears or breaks in the wire. And it's these two orange ones right here. Now what you want to do, the same thing on the back motor, is now check the wires going from the connection block to the back motor for any damage as well. You can also check your carbon brushes, make sure they're not worn. If they're worn, they need replaced. Check your gasket on top of your back motor as well. Now if the back motor is not working at all, here's what you want to do. What we're going to do now is check to see if we have power coming from the connection block to the back motor. If you've got power and the back motor still doesn't turn on, you've got a bad back motor and needs replaced. If you don't have power to the connection block, what we're going to have to do next is trace the lines and check the lines to make sure they're good down at the control board. First, you're going to start off by taking off the battery compartment cover with seat. Just tilt it back. And lift it up over. Set that off to the side. And now what we're going to do is we're going to trace the lines all the way down. They go underneath the battery compartment and they come into your trio board and your sensor board. And next what you want to do is you want to locate the two back motor wires and trace those all the way back down to your board. Once you've located them on your board, what you're going to do next is check for continuity, breaks, wears, make sure the wires are good. If you have not found any issues with the wires and there's continuity, your board may need to be replaced. So next what we're going to do is we're going to troubleshoot some drive issues, i.e. such as no neutral, no forward or reverse, intermittently running, going too fast or going too slow. Now the most common issue with this is the potentiometer. So with our battery compartment exposed already, the next thing we need to do is take off our foot plate, and to do that there are 4 screws that you need to remove in order to lift this plate off. Take your Phillips head screwdriver and just start removing the screws. Okay, now that we've got our foot plate off, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to adjust the potentiometer. Now first thing you need to do is locate your potentiometer, which sits right on top here and it's connected to your foot pedal. Now the tools that you're going to need are an Allen wrench and your voltmeter. Now the first thing you want to do is you want to turn your machine on, take your voltmeter and switch it to volts, take your positive and negative leads, and on the control board what you're going to do is locate the traction wires and touch your leads to the traction wires. Now it should read 0. If it does not read 0, this is how you adjust your potentiometer. With your leads still on the control board, you take your Allen head and you insert your Allen head into the set screw on the potentiometer. Now turn your set screw until your voltmeter reads 0. Now once it reads 0, you have successfully set your potentiometer. Now with your potentiometer set correctly, if you still don't have any forward or reverse movement, the next step would be to check for power down to your transaxle. You could possibly have a bad transaxle. So what you want to do here is turn your machine on, take your voltmeter leads, locate the 2 traction wires that are running from the board down to the transaxle. Now hook your leads to it. And now what you want to do is to press the pedal until you hear the circuit open. Now once that happens, and if you're not getting any voltage off the board, you need to replace your board. But if you're getting power down to the transaxle and you still aren't getting any forward or reverse movement, you need to replace your transaxle. So now we're going to go over some solution flow issues, some common solution flow issues. The first thing we're going to go over is cleaning and replacing your solution filter. So what you want to do here, we've already got our machine disassembled. What you want to do here is flip the tank lid open, locate your solution filter. It's connected to your line. What you want to do is remove these rubber grommets, both of them, and clean your solution filter. Now if there's holes, tears, anything like that, it needs replaced. Now another issue that we hear a lot about is when your machine is turned on, your display screen is displaying that either your recovery tank is full but it's empty, or that your solution tank is empty but it's full. Now a common cause of this are your float sensors. So just like before, with your tank open, look at your float sensors, make sure they're clean, there's no debris on your float sensor balls. Go ahead and look and make sure that your float sensors are tightly secured where they should be. If they need clean, clean them up. If they need secured again, secure them again. And just like before, go ahead and close the lid and check for continuity between your float sensor and the connection block like we did before. Again, also look for kinks in the wires, tears in the wires. Now check for continuity from your connection block like we did before down to your board, your control board here. Again, look for kinks in the wires, look for breaks in the wires, anything like that. Another thing you can do is check, like we did before, from power from your board up here to your connection block as well. So the last solution issue we're going to look into is the pump. Just like any other component, it could go bad. So what we need to do is make sure that we've got power going to the pump from the board before we replace any other component. The first thing we're going to check to make sure that we've got power going to the pump is the pump fuse. It is located right next to the back motor. So what you want to do is remove the fuse to make sure that it's good. Next, take your voltmeter and check the fuse for continuity. Hook your leads up. Now if your fuse is bad, you need to replace your fuse. If your fuse is good, we're going to go further into checking the lines to make sure we've got power running to the pump. So after checking the fuse and making sure your fuse is okay, the next thing what we're going to do is we're going to check the line from the block, from the connector block, to the fuse assembly. Now look at it and make sure there's no breaks, there's no kinks. What you want to do is unhook it from your fuse assembly. Could be a pain sometimes. Just like before, take your voltmeter and probe one end and probe the other end that's connected to the block and make sure you've got continuity in that line. Now if you've got continuity in that line and you don't have any breaks or kinks in your wire, the next thing that we want to do is check to make sure that we've got power coming off the board to the pump. So in order to check the power coming from the control board, the trio board, to the pump to make sure that we have power, what we want to do is we want to take our voltmeter, take your leads, and you want to hook them into the opposite end of the block where your pump wires are leading into your connector block. Now these are the wires that go from the connector block to the board. Next, what you want to do is you want to turn your machine on. You want to drop your brush deck and turn your solution on. Make sure your voltmeter is set to voltage. It's a 24 volt pump, so it should be getting 24 volts to it. Go ahead and press your pedal and make sure that you're getting voltage from the board to the connection block. Now if you're not getting any power from the board to the connection block, you have a board issue and your board needs replaced. But if you are getting power from the board to the connection block and your pump is still not working, or the pump fan is spinning and there's no solution in your lines, you need to replace your pump. Now in order to do that, it's just these 4 little screws. Take your 4 screws out, take your lines off, remove the 90-degree elbows, and replace the pump. And just reassemble it back together with the 90-degree elbows. Put your lines back on and screw it back in. I hope this troubleshooting guide helped out a little bit. For all other technical questions, you can always give us a call at 1-800-USA-CLEAN or visit us at our website at usaclean.com. TASKI and all other floor cleaning equipment. I'm Keith. Thanks for watching.